It was supposed to be just another quiet night. The kind of night where everything feels still, and even the wind seems too polite to make a sound. I sat in my room, scrolling on my phone, telling myself it was just a normal evening. But then I heard it. A faint scratching noise at the window. I froze. My heart beat faster, but when I looked, nothing was there. Just shadows. Just quiet. Or so I thought. I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe a branch brushing against the glass, or my mind playing tricks. But then I saw it, a shadow, faint, just beyond the yard. Too far to be sure. Yet somehow I felt it staring right at me. I blinked. It was gone. My chest tightened. Something about that night felt wrong. Every creak in the house sounded like footsteps. Every gust of wind felt like a whisper I couldn't understand. I tried to ignore it, tried to convince myself it was nothing. But then there was a knock at the door. Just once, just a soft tap. My body stiffened. I told myself it was the wind again, but deep down I knew it wasn't. Slowly, cautiously, I turned toward the window, and there it was. Closer now, watching, waiting. The shadow I thought was far away had moved. I grabbed the flashlight from my desk, gripping it like a lifeline. Heart pounding, I tiptoed toward the window. The yard was empty, empty, except for the feeling that I was not alone. My fingers brushed the glass, cold as ice. And then a hand appeared. A pale hand, pressed lightly against the outside of the window. I jumped back, gasping. The flashlight shook in my hand, casting wild shadows across the walls. I tried to steady my breathing, telling myself I had to face it. I leaned closer, and for a moment the yard seemed ordinary. But then I saw the face, pale, expressionless, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. I stumbled backward, tripping over my chair. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. Every shadow stretched longer, moving toward me with a slow, deliberate creep. I ran to the door, heart hammering in my chest. I flung it open. Nothing. The hallway was empty. I dared a glance back toward the window. That's when I saw it, handprints sliding down the glass, inching closer, as if reaching for me. My stomach churned, and I realized, some shadows don't stay outside. I backed away, every instinct screaming to escape, but the feeling of being watched didn't leave. I could hear faint breathing, soft and uneven, coming from behind the walls. The shadows seemed to shift whenever I moved. I tried to calm myself, telling myself I was imagining things. But the handprints were still there, moving, creeping, unstoppable. I ran to the living room, hoping for some sense of safety. The street outside was silent, the trees still, yet every flicker of light, every rustle of leaves, felt deliberate, like a warning. I could feel the eyes on me, always, just out of reach, never fully seen. My legs trembled, but I forced myself forward, searching for an escape. Anything to break the tension that gripped me. I reached the front door again, hand on the knob, and for a brief second, I thought maybe I could leave. But as I looked back, the window told a different story. The shadows had grown longer, twisting in impossible ways. The pale face, the glowing eyes, they weren't gone. They were waiting, patient, relentless. My chest tightened, and I realized that tonight there was no ignoring it. I closed my eyes, telling myself to breathe, to think rationally. But when I opened them, the handprints had multiplied, climbing higher, moving faster. Every shadow in the room seemed alive, stretching toward me. I could feel them pressing in, surrounding me, filling the room with their silent intent. I stumbled backward, heart racing, knowing I couldn't stay. I ran to the window, desperate, gripping the sill. I looked out one last time. The yard was empty, or so it seemed. The shadows lingered, just at the edge of perception, teasing, waiting. And then I heard it, a soft whisper, right behind me, as though someone or something was breathing my name. I froze, the air turned cold, the kind of cold that crawls under your skin and refuses to leave. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I could feel it moving closer, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. Every shadow, every creak, every flicker of light, it was alive, watching patient, and then I understood. Some shadows don't stay outside. I backed away slowly, knowing I had nowhere to hide. The handprints traced across the window, inching toward me like fingers of darkness. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst. I realized that tonight I was not alone, and maybe I would never be alone again.